All right, let's just jump into it. This is a deck that we have played a bit of pre 1.6 balance patch. I think actual nothing in here got rebalanced in the patch. However, there's a little bit more to whether or not a deck is still playable than just whether or not it got hit with buffs or nerfs. So the format that we're playing in now, post 1.6, is a little bit different than what we were playing in beforehand. So I'm interested to see how this deck does against the various Frostbite decks, for example. Ash Sajani's one of the premier decks in the format. There's a chance that Ranger's Resolve might not be a 3 of anymore. This card's very good against things like Make It Rain and Whale, but it's less good against the consistently large things that the Noxious Fridge Lord. You would cut Garen because he's useless against Edge. I don't know if I agree with that. And that's something that I would like to see. And again, like, one of the things to understand too is like, Runeterra is not Magic, right? Like, just because the Ash Sajani deck's the best deck, probably the best deck in the format at the moment, doesn't mean it's every matchup that you're gonna play. It also doesn't mean it's like on a different plane. That's true. Relentless Pursuit was technically reduced to slow, but the number of times that being slow versus fast matters is like pretty few and far between. I'm just playing Ezreal, Twisted Fate. I think I'm going to mulligan. I'm definitely mulliganing these two. I might be right to mulligan Grizzled Ranger too here, just because I would really like a 1 and a 2. Fiora is very good on 3. We're attacking on evens though, so keeping Grizzled Ranger when I'm attacking on evens sounds appealing. Welcome back, Time Lord. Good morning. It's the 27 months. Curran, let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Welcome back. I'm loving Runeterra, and you seem happier when you're playing it. Thanks for all the content. Thanks for keeping me here. I'm glad you've enjoyed some of the transition. Let's get a variety segment with Baba Is You going. I think the channel might enjoy it. Thanks, Scissor. I really appreciate your generosity. I should figure out how to mute BattleNet, so that way that was my BattleNet sound for anybody else that also has BattleNet open. Let's mute you. I think I did it. I think I've got it muted. Yeah, all the Blizzard games run through BattleNet Llama. We're gonna wrap up today with some Overwatch for our variety segment.
I long for a worthy opponent.
Can we play Overwatch cross-platform? I don't know. I know the Switch version of Overwatch is not cross-platform, but I don't know if that extends to all the versions. I'm gonna hold the Rangers Resolve for now. I think I'm okay with this exchange. Like, Fiora living at 1 toughness in this deck doesn't mean she's gonna do a whole lot more.
Go down, will ya?
What's so interesting to me with Runeterra is not only do they make changes often and fast, but the changes seem to be meaningful. They consistently change the best deck in the format with patches unlike Magic, which just shifts from one go big ramp, what form the go big ramp deck, and then yeah, yep, yeah, the range of it's funny. I was watching some other Runeterra streams last night, and hearing folks comment that they think like this game has balance issues. It's just like, man, y'all just don't even know. You don't get it. Don't tell Scotty, because he definitely doesn't know. These darn kids don't know how good they have it, chat.
I'm actually here.
Looks like trouble.
I just take this hit. With the plan being to go like Fleet Feather into Bannerman next turn. It's a little bit bad against that. You know, it was funny. My kids almost never want to watch Twitch with me, but my oldest, Jacob, saw me watching some Runeterra streams. He's like, "Can I watch card games with you, Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." He just like is generally never interested in it. So this does +1, but they're tough, so it's -1. It might have been wrong to attack with this on its own. Maybe I'm supposed to just attack with everything to start. So let's hook you. Let's hook you. I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. They can trade one of these for here. So, like, we're ahead on board by a little bit here, but the opponent still got 4 cards in their hand plus a warning shot, so definitely feel a little bit behind. We're gonna have 3... Well, 2 3/3s and a 3/4, though, to their 1 3/3. And Consecrated Strike can maybe help us punch through the last bits of damage here. We're thankfully not quite at the shark turn yet, which is nice.
Soak it in.
Soak it in.
My shield is yours.
Got up to 200 LP last night, and then went on a massive losing streak, and I'm back down to 0. Yeah, so how does Masters ranking work in this game? So if you're a bigger number is better, it's not like ranked 1 through X like other things. You accrue points, and more points is good. Is that how it works? Is that my understanding good? Yeah, I definitely need to open attacks next turn. So we don't get sharked. Yeah, and they're going to implement a leaderboard. Okay, good. Yeah, ideally you should probably have both, right? Yeah, this is pretty unfortunate. So I get to attack here. They're going to trade a 3/3. They're going to jump with a 1/2. And then they're going to, like, Warning Shot plus Shark us and wipe our board. Okay, no Shark is big deal. We're out of gas at this point, though. Like, our deck doesn't really have a catch-up mechanic. Like, we're just trying to run people down. And when we run out of gas like this, we're basically just dead. Hey, the Holy Helix Fossil, thank you for the 35 months. Welcome back. Kind of surprised they blocked this as opposed to this, since they were playing 3/3s out. Maybe they do have Shark, or they just wanted to wait till their turn to play it. Yeah, I think we're dead. There's a chance that this build's not very good. We played a build of Shen Fiora that felt pretty reasonable. If we play, I don't know, 3 or 4 games with this and it's bad, we'll probably swap over to that. We'll see. This deck, I mean, like, even when I played this deck last time, games like that last one were games that you're winning. You win games by running people down and having reasonable curves. So, like, we're definitely a deck where as the game goes long, we're less and less likely to win. We're not packing card advantage. We don't have a catch-up card like something like Cannon Shark. Which, speaking of, we got a couple of new emotes in the channel for subs. We got a Cannon Shark and then an RTX emote for when the NVIDIA software makes my voice do funny things. Yeah, I agree, Zibzy. Just the amount of... What's the best way to phrase it? The amount of individually lower powered cards that you're able to play in Runeterra because you have more cards on average per game drawing a card each turn is great. Yes, yeah, there's also a build with Misfortune as well. Maybe we could try that instead of the Shen build. The combat system is super elegant. I love the design of the challenger mechanic to let your combat feel interactive. Ezreal Twisted Fate again. Definitely mulliganing this. I think we're mulliganing the challenger. We're attacking on evens again, so I think that means Grizzled Ranger's a keep. Thanks, mates, too. I appreciate that. If you're looking for other games to keep you entertained in the meantime, would highly recommend Runeterra. It's very well done. Little parlay. Or Little Bird. Hand's actually very good. If we didn't get parlayed. Let's see if we're able to punch through here still. Yep.
They would fall by my blade.
So opponent's champion Ezreal levels up by targeting our stuff, and we're gonna give them plenty of stuff to target here for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and play Grizzled Ranger here because it's the scout mechanic. So if we get to attack with this to start, we get a second attack step. So I want to play this before we attack, so that way we can attack twice. Cards like this are why Misfortune is a card that's commonly paired in this archetype. Haven't been able to catch you much live, but I'm taking in the sweet YouTube content, living that essential employee life. Thanks for the biddies, D20 Bandit. Hope you're staying safe out there.
Store the rations! Shackle the prisoners!
Yeah, I agree, Mitsu. Runeterra. It's I'd responded to a Twitter thread with this last night, but it's honestly just amazing to me how many of the things Runeterra has done that like I have like said at various points I really wish Magic would do this, but they just never did. So we'll single combat these two.
This will be quick.
Someone asked about a discard pile. You actually can't see a discard pile in this game. There's a game log over here that you can scroll back and see what cards people have played. But there isn't like a pile of cards. And part of the reason for that too is there isn't like a traditional discard pile and that like there's only one copy of things you can bring back. So like when you play cards in this game that say like revive the strongest dead ally, if you play a second one of those, you can revive the same ally that's died once, twice, which is different than how it works in traditional Magic or games that like track cards into the discard pile. So Cithra's really good here, but there might be merit to just like going wide here first. And like playing Cithra, like they don't have Shark next turns. I think I want to just go wide here. And then like we'll play Cithra on their turn and then open attacks with her next turn.
New recruit reporting in.
All hands on deck!
Got your back.
So 3/2 can attack into all of these. Who's a happy bird? You're a happy bird.
Deal is yours.
Say your farewells. You picked the losing side.
Press on.
Yeah, even like these Ezreal Twisted Fate decks can be tough for the aggressive deck, so it's not just Ash to Johnny.
Who's falling for blood?
Whoa! Hey!
Ah!
Like, you know, even just like looking how this game's played out, right? Like our opponents had a flurry of they had Mystic Shots and Parlays and Static Shocks and stuff like that. They're still at like, we're on turn 7 now and they're still at 17 and we're out of cards. They still have 4 of them. You have a Thermo Beam here to kill Cithra.
Give me a weapon, I'll give it firepower.
All of your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage.
My heart and sword.
Alright, I think we're not opening on attacks with the Garandra.
Like a fish in water.
Flavor and spice.
Flavor and spice. So when Cithra attacks, all of our things gain Fearsome. And 1/1. This is the Thermo Beam. Just double burn spell. So their first spell is going to deal 2 extra, and the second one will just deal 1 extra. So this is dealing 3. That's dealing 5. Yep.
Right on!
I actually don't feel like we're in that bad of a spot here at the moment. Like we're definitely ahead on board, right? And like we both have 0 cards.
Just run while you can.
Opponent's deck has some bigger draws here, like they have their elusive here that can get in, so like should they draw a shark next turn, for instance, they can catch up very quickly. But we are definitely behind.
Clear off.
Or definitely ahead at the moment.
Gotta go with the flow.
Well, their Zap's pretty good. Yeah, they also have things that generate card advantage. Like I said, our deck is not good at playing catch-up. We need to get ahead and stay ahead. We're an aggro deck. We want to try and end the game. Our top decks are things like Ranger's Resolve. Oh, crap. I forgot Funsmith was there. I should have moused over the card. In my mind, my things weren't dying there.
Follow my lead. We live here.
Well, it worked out. Definitely could be going worse.
Yeah, you don't want to cross me.
Two for ones like that are real good.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Yep. Let's try the Misfortune build of this. This build does not seem particularly good. Oh look, I can just click push to client from the Mobilytics site and it should just appear. Did it? Did that work? Did it work? Look at that. Look at that, chat. It even names it properly. I was expecting it to say imported deck, but I pushed it to the client from the website and it just appeared with the right name and everything. That's so great. It does not have a native OS X client. You can play on iOS on mobile though. I don't know if the roadmap has one on it offhand. Wait, what? Yeah, if you link your Riot account to your Mobilytics account, this application is real software. Wish the mobile app worked as well. I mean, it does. Like, you click it and you push it, appears in the mobile app too. This is all the same as the mobile. It's identical. Yeah, Mobilytics had a couple of hiccups with their thing yesterday when they pushed the new features live, but they seem to be working well now. Yeah, so if you link your Mobilytics account with your Riot account, it'll track what cards are in your collection for decks that you build on there, and you can push directly from the website to your client. I have to say they're doing a wonderful job compared to some companies. Yep. Alright, so I think we're definitely mulliganing Quinn. At least Thresh is indicative of something a little bit more controlling. I think I'm mulliganing Petty Officer here too, because we're attacking on even, so it's pretty important that I find a 2-drop. Or another 1-drop.
What's that noise?
Chat seems significantly delayed today. Is that intended? That's an issue on your end, Speed. I'd encourage you to refresh your browser or reconnect your internet or whatever you got going on. So unfortunately, do not want to attack my 2-1 into their 1-1 that makes them their thing, so we're just going to play this out and pass here. Now, thankfully, Misfortune's going to change that next turn. We'll be able to play her out, and then she'll be able to kill the thing that these hook with damage beforehand. Culling Strike, rude. So I could Bannermen. It's resource efficient. This deck doesn't have a ton of spells in it, right? Yeah, it's just back-to-back and single combat. I feel like I want a Bannermen to be resource efficient because I don't really utilize spell mana here. So, and this is the downside. So, this is playing Bannermen, which has this allegiance mechanic here, which only works if the top card of your deck is a Demacian card, and this deck is playing 9 cards that are not Demacian cards. So the top card of our deck here is going to be a non-Demacian card. That means I can't, these didn't get bigger, so I can't meaningfully attack with them here. Alright, Misfortune's a good pickup at least.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
That's just fearsome. I think I'm okay to trade here.
to cook it.
We have 9 Bilgewater cards in this build. We have Petty Officer, Jagged Butcher, and Misfortune. I'm not sure that Petty Officer is worth the liability on the Bannermen, if I'm being honest. I think I want to play Sithra here.
And a long path to get here.
Hoping to fade, well, it would have been nice to fade that. Yeah, I'll be picking folks that are interested in playing, Overwatch with us on a Discord today. Or there's my BattleNet tag is in there, and you can add me from there. So this will be get 1/1. Misfortune will do this. I probably don't want to offer the trade on Misfortune here, huh? Probably not. Admain, thank you for the 40 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Would Genevieve have been better because she buffs everyone when entered? Oh, yeah, I actually forgot about that line of text, probably. Why pull the 1/1 over the 3/2? Because Misfortune's trigger would kill the 1/1, so my 2/1 would live. So I was trying to have my 2/1 survive there. They had a Vile Feast, which killed it, but the Misfortune trigger would have killed their thing. Right, it's not bad. Playing Genevieve would have also given us a scout, which would have been nice.
I need more hands.
I do not have any pending friend requests on battle.net right now, no.
Slow down, will you?
Should have ordered Neverglade first. Couldn't order Neverglade first because the way I was killing their Neverglade was by using the support mechanic, and the support mechanic depends on being to the left of things.
I'll be damned.
So they've already used 2 stun spiders. They've only played 1 Ravenous Flock here. I kind of like leading on Brightsteel to barrier this. So this way this doesn't die to things in combat here most likely, and doesn't die to the Ravenous Flock. And then I can play this afterwards to power this up as well.
With me. These woods belong to us. Don't hold back.
Oh, wait, this would have been fearsome. Did I just punt lethal? I just punted lethal, right? No, not quite. I think we're dead anyways, right? If I would have pulled this, would I have had lethal? They wouldn't have been able to block. I would have had 4. Was I 1 off it? I didn't count it. I had 5, 15. No, I only had 18, right? And they were at 20.
Stand for what's right.
I can block here, but then we go to 3 and die to decimate. Yeah, we really needed the Bannermen to hit that game. It's not a punt unless you lose. That's not true. Not even a little. Demacia with the Noxious Splash here on the other side. Sure. I'm gonna try a few games with Petty Officer. Like, Petty Officer in your deck isn't synergistic with Bannermen, but like playing out a card. That's what I'm searching for. Playing out a card and getting playing out a card and getting 2 bodies is good. Is good with
Don't get in my way. Hello, love.
In the field. You call me command.
Bright Steel Protector's real good here. Just get to barrier up and kill a thing of our choosing. Yeah, just can't attack.
Actually here.
Is there a punish for not opening on attacks and playing Misfortune to start? I don't think the answer is yes. What units could they play that make us sad for not attacking right away? What units can they play that make us sad for not attacking right away? I don't think any come to mind.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Stun Spider, sure.
Demacia shall prevail.
Time for violence. Guns blazing.
So I want to do this, so she'll get bigger, but then the Misfortune trigger will deal 1 and this will deal 2. So those are all going to die. Yeah, if they have Resolve, we get got here, but I also can't play around that, so like, pretty sure we're just on the ship it plan. Yeah, like this works, the game's probably over.
You monster!
And I'm not actually sure Ranger Resolve is that good in this format right now, or I was talking about that in our previous build.
There's a chill in the air. You're late.
You're early.
At your signal.
I think I just take this hit. So these have quick attack, so they deal damage first when attacking. That doesn't apply when blocking, so...
It's a long path to get here. I've got your back.
That doesn't even really matter, right? Because the Misfortune trigger is going to knock it down. My Battle.net ID is pinned in the other games channel on the subs Discord. Hey, Dude Light, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Blood Moon said they had a deck you wanted to play, but no money. I have money, but no deck. Plus, I'm always happy to have an excuse to throw money at you. Thanks for keeping me around, Dude Light. I appreciate your support in the Runeterra transition. Yeah, get that added. I need to watch tutorial to understand what's going on. Yeah, I would definitely, I'm happy to field questions, but, like, just playing the first 2 to 3 segments of the in-game tutorial for Runeterra would be so much better for you than me throwing little bits and pieces at you. So I'd highly, highly recommend, yeah, the in-game Runeterra tutorial is one of the best I've ever had seen. So we're attacking on odds here, which means we're attacking on the first turn. So I'm going to mulligan these two and try and find a 1-drop to pair with my 2 and my 3. We have 9 1-drops to draw to, I believe. 2 6-drops. Rough. Yeah, the game's on mobile. Do you like Quinn or Lucian Scouts? I don't know. I've copy and pasted the deck list for Mobilytics, and we're playing games with it for the first time. No, definitely, Niv. You're good. I'll get something added. Rockin' Zanir, thank you for the 27 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
Study into practice.
And eat their 2-2 here.
My writing.
Hey, thanks for the 7 months, Eldebon. Yeah, we'll be using the America region for Overwatch this afternoon. In. So close to the sword. Gotta practice with that training sword. Keep yourself sharp. I don't think I want to trade this War Chefs for their 1-1, so I'm going to go ahead and hold it back so that we can potentially trade it with either House Spider or the Battlecaster next turn. I'm okay trading this 3-2 for either their 2-2s, though, I think. I'm pretty far off of Cithra or Elmheart pumping this, and I don't have a Bannerman in sight, so I think this exchange is good. I haven't done this resummon thing in a while. Take my shekels while I work this afternoon. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 prototype. And thank you for your tip to play whatever the physics puzzle game is for next week. It'll be up on Tuesday, like I said. Here's Ezreal Ashe. I added a bit extra because switching games can be stressful and wanted to show my support. All the best. Thanks, J-Ray. I really appreciate it. I don't think I've heard that interaction before. The sound design is just so well done in this game. I think leading on Grizzled Scout here because I can block twice. Ice Boy, thank you for the tier 2. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the 5 months. Yeah, I'm going to try something a little different, Niv. Christy asked me if I could try some evening streams, and my numbers on the weekend tend to be a little bit lower anyways. They seem like the best ones to try and move. Maybe we'll catch more people in the evening on the weekend than in the morning. Also, let some folks that mostly watch on YouTube potentially catch live for the first time. So yeah, Saturday, Sunday, we're gonna do some evening bits. Okay, so this powers up everything. This has quick attack. I think I'm just playing defense here. I feel like we're the bigger aggro deck here with these 6 drops, so I think I want to just try and preserve my health total as much as possible. Opponent's also playing Noxious and Piltover, which means their Archetype's going to have some reach in it, so I don't want to get too low. I think I open attacks here to try and trigger Plunder for this. Perfect. Now, there's a real question about curve considerations here. So I'm on 5 resources this turn, which means I'm going to have 6 on their next turn and then 7 on our turn after that. So I think it might actually be right to play Bannermen here, even though I only have 2 other things in play, because playing Bannerman this turn lets me play Cithra next turn or double Petty Officer and then Genevieve. Although I guess I can't double Petty Officer because I want to space on my bench. Depends on what happens in combat, I suppose. Marty! Thank you for the 51 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. If I'm expecting to trade things off anyways, maybe I petty officer and then just go 6 into 6 and play Bannerman as the follow-up afterwards. Am I talking myself into that? I might be talking myself into that. I could also go 3-drop here into Sithra on their turn, into petty officer Bannerman on my following turn, depending on what my bench looks like after their combat. By the way, for people that have played more Runeterra than I, what is the technical term? Is there a technical term for this down here? I've been referring to it as my bench, which is a Pokemon TCG term. Is there a technical Runeterra term?
Some rock got me good.
It's just back row? It's just back row. Okay, I'm probably gonna keep calling it a bench. Swain says back row. He does, doesn't he? Yes, we could definitely add Lidros combo back in, Marty. Yeah, a bench sounds better to me, but that could also be my bias, just like having played Pokemon over the years. I think I'm gonna play Sithra here.
Long path to get here.
And then we'll have to decide whether or not we want to do 3-4 next turn or just Genevieve.
I stand for nonsense. I gotta work with this joker.
That is a chunky monkey. According to the wiki, directly above the player's hand is the bench. The bench is the holding areas for players, units, and champion cards. All right, I'm gonna use bench then. If there's a wiki that says bench, I'm gonna go with bench. This puts me to 2. I think that's, or to 11. Take 2. I think that's fine. Okay, I think we Genevieve now, right? Because I don't have room for both of these. I think we just do this. Swain's card says back row. Swain's card definitely says back row. Okay, so this has Scout, so it can attack twice. So I get to get in and hook some stuff here. The question is, how aggressive do I want to hook the first time? I feel like I don't want to Draven the first time, because then they could kill it before the second time it attacks. But I do really want to get Draven off the table, but I've also got the single combat, so like there's not as much priority there. I think I'm going to start by just hooking their 2-1, and we'll still go from there. So Sithra's gonna give everything fearsome, but all their stuff is big enough to not care about that anyways. You would have killed the 3-1. Why? Can you explain? Would have prevented this trade, I suppose. Alright, yeah, True Shot Barrage, might do that. You ever played any Ezreal Twisted Fate deck? I was wondering how that deck would feel. I don't think we've played Ezreal Twisted Fate on stream yet. I should get that. I should get that one into the queue.
Jinx? Stands for Jinx?
I think you have. I'll check you. Yeah, check YouTube. Present Jeff has played a lot of card games between what past Jeff played in now. There is a chance that past Jeff has played it already.
Anything else? Stick your lip out, you little puppy eyes. Trust me.
You'll fight or you'll swim.
There's also a chance, though, that the last time we played Twisted Ezreal was before 1.6 patch, which makes a little bit of a difference. So now I get to respond to this with my single combat, so we kill Jinx before this happens and she levels, which is great. It was 2 days ago. God, Present Jeff is. You're right, we did play it recently. God bless Internet Archives, huh? This Bannerman's gonna be real good if it hits next turn. Look at that, the old 1-2 emote punch there for those taking notes at home. Get a little Teemo action going on, hoping for the right thing, and you get a little fizz shoulders when you hit it. For those of you that are keeping track of the emote meta, these things are important. Are you just attacking with everything?
Just like hunting thresher geese.
What's an emote? All these pictures over here are emotes.
Do you want to get back to work?
I wonder if it's right to single combat these two. It gets blown out by a get excited. If they get excited, their hand's empty. I guess they have a 5-3 here regardless. I'm gonna attack and not lose my Quinn here, I think. I also don't want to attack with the 2-3 because they have 3 toughness things, so all of these will trade with whatever they block with here. Now, it might be wrong to offer an attack into this Astute Academic, because this isn't always going to be this large, but I think this is good, especially with Sithra and True Shot Barrage. So, like, on their turn, we'll True Shot Barrage, hammer down a bunch of stuff that's still remaining, and then on our next turn, we'll be able to Sithra attack, plus maybe clear out another thing with single combat. Yeah, our board recover is better than theirs does, I think, here. Without Jinx, our opponent doesn't have a real source of card advantage. Pretty sure they have to block all these.
Now I've lost my place.
And again, the eye knows all, so we're just gonna like shrink the boards here. Okay.
Don't worry.
So one of the things I actually really want to work on is, I have it in my deck editor, but I haven't had a chance to play games with it yet, is I want to work on a Jinx Entreat deck, because the Jinx decks are always so absurd when they have Jinx. So I think if you just, like, have a bunch of extra copies of Jinx in your deck via End Street, the deck's probably pretty sweet. Beacon Fern, thank you for the 29 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, I muted my sound just in case there's something obnoxious on it, but I'm a little bit sad here. My opponent's name is gramsucks.de, and DE is a web URL extension. So I went to gramsucks.de and the site just appears to be empty, and I'm very disappointed. Isn't .de a web URL too, or am I making that up? I feel like .de is a web URL, like .us is a web URL too, right? I don't know, I'm lacking the technical term for whatever that's called, but I feel like that's a thing. Sure, but like anybody in any, like you don't need to be in Germany, you don't need to be in the US to visit a .us site. Opponent's emote game was on point. I mean, this is like a choose your own adventure book here. Like, again, like, one of the things that really kind of surprises me from players in this game, one of the pieces of feedback I constantly get from chat is like, well, why didn't you just, like, kill your opponent there? They were just dead. When our opponent has, like, 8 mana available and like 3 or 4 cards in their hand. Like, this game has so much interaction with it. Like, it's not like there's Teferi Time Ravelers in play constantly, right? So like a lot of the time that people are like, well, just attack, they're dead. It's like, well, it's not right to make them have it a lot of the time, right? Like, in some instances, yes, it's correct to be like, okay, open attacks here, make them have a fast spell, kill them. But in a lot of situations, you're supposed to think through like, okay, what could they have? Is there counterplay? Can I afford to play around that counterplay? And like, again, that isn't to compare to like, it's wrong to make them have it sometimes, but it's also worth considering in a lot of instances because there's so much interaction in this game. Sure, yeah, that could be it too. It could be people with Hearthstone backgrounds not used to people being able to respond. I could see that too. I think we're mulliganing everything but the Jagged Butcher here. Just like looking for 2s and 3s to curve into. Just like we drew it up, chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, curve and right out the door. 5, 6, 7, 8. Do. Real decks have curves, chat. Quality mulligan. The mulligans in this game are so incredibly rewarding and skill testing, not only because they're partial mulligans, but also because you just get to see your opponent's champions before the game starts, so you get to know how you're supposed to be approaching mulliganing. It's so fantastic. Just love it.
No prey, no pay.
Whereas, like, you know, like, and my Magic players know, like, there's so many games in that game where you're just like, well, I hope they're not playing aggro because I'm going to keep this hand that's good against mid-range and control. And that just, like, largely doesn't happen here. Like, you can often know if you're familiar with the metagame when you're supposed to be mulliganing against aggro and when you're supposed to be mulliganing against control. Are we scared of Avalanche? I mean, my dojo doesn't contain fear, so I'm pretty sure the answer is no. Yeah, like, so misfortune levels based on how many times she's seen you attack, so I think getting this... Now, in comparison, my opponent's dojo has much fear. Many, many fear in my opponent's dojo. No, I think companions are done and gone in Magic, J-Man Dog. There's a reason why when they nerfed companions in Magic, they made them basically unplayable. Yeah, and and this is talking about mulligans in this game. Another layer of depth here. There's some value to keeping Petty Officer. There's some value to keeping Petty Officer in my opening hand because it takes a Bilgewater card out of there. To the person that asked though, why they got timed out for coming in here and asking when we're playing Magic, it's because I believe in helping those who can help themselves. And according to your Twitch account, you've been following me since February 2019, which means you should probably know that there's a schedule on my website, which is linked under the stream. There's also literally an update command listed in the stream title that would probably give you information about updates on the channel. So basically, there are lots of ways to get the information that you seek. So always try and do my best to like exert the effort to let people have the information that they want. Please do the courtesy and do me the same and like also put in a little bit of effort. Would we rather lead on Petty Officer or Misfortune? I think it's Misfortune, so you want to try and get her leveling right away.
Took the bait.
I'll do my best.
Time for violence.
What if I offer this trade to like push damage here? I think that's good. And this is a trade anyways, right?
All the world on one arrow.
I think we do this and just take a 5-ball here. Ash is gonna attack and frostbite this. I don't really want to chump with this. And then next turn, we can open on attacks with the Scout. And then we can Petty Officer plus War Chefs before our normal attack. Again, the Scout mechanic says if only Scouts attack, we get another attack token.
All hands on deck! Feed Demacia!
I agree, Crappy Lawyer. I agree. That's definitely that observation has not been lost on me.
Eat up, friend!
That while playing Runeterra with non-sub only chat, the most timeouts we give are people poking into our Magic people.
Morsel of...
Long time YouTube viewer, but first time subscriber. I think my subscription went through. So sweet Blue, I really appreciate that support. Welcome to a live one in Hoaglandia. if you mostly watch on YouTube and you want a chance to interact with me and the other members of Hoaglandia too, I'd encourage you to pop on into the subs Discord too. A lot of great people in there, including myself, that chat about things pretty constantly. Do I want to Bright Steel Protector? I think so, because it just makes their attacks worse. And there's a chance that they attack here, because their board's pretty good.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
I think we Misfortune here, and then we just open attacks next turn. I think this frog is my favorite pet. He's kind of cute. He like does this pop-up thing and like floats down too. He's adorable with his little spores. Yeah, there he is. Hey, Shrew. Thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Wow, no attacks. Okay, yeah, I think we just open attacks here, right? With the back-to-back, we could probably kill them because like one unit is lethal.
Stand and defend. This is our homeland.
And like if they harsh winds, I back-to-back after and they die. Like I'm expecting harsh winds here, right? They don't even have it. Sick.
Fortune smiles.
Yeah, I saw the stuff going around about people paying for fake negative COVID tests so they could skip quarantining. Oh, the United States. That felt really good. I was expecting our aggressive deck to feel bad against the Frostbite / Big Stuff deck, and it was nice. Felt good to run them down. It's so bright and busy on the screen, though. Runeterra is definitely a real video game. It has hands animation. You know, it's funny, we were talking about this earlier. I was watching other people stream Runeterra last night, and Jake came in from the other room, and he was like, "Oh, Dad, can I watch card games with you?" And he has, like, never in his life before sat down to watch a card game Twitch stream with me before. Just like... I think we were watching a streamer so was playing the Deep, and he was just super into sea monsters, and at one point they drew a treasure card, and like a treasure chest exploded on screen. It was very adorable. What's my favorite design of champions game? Lux is definitely my favorite champion. She's powerful, she has a sweet build-around requirement, and her laser beam animation is awesome.
Blood and sweat. Let's get to it. Say your farewells.
I think offering that trade there is right. They're playing Sedge Misfortune, so they're also an aggressive shell. So again, our deck doesn't have a ton of spells in it, so it's pretty important to utilize all of our mana each turn in this deck because we often don't benefit from banking spell mana.
Looking for trouble? It found you. Hey there, Red. Well, that's one fantasy come true.
The fact that they make the champions talk to themselves is so great.
I know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, we added a Shark Cannon emote and an RTX emote. My graphics guy got those back to me last night. Turned out real well. And yeah, I've thought about that, Genesis. I don't know. I kind of feel like between Swim's website and Swim already kind of does on his website what I was doing for Magic decks. So, like, my desire to put forth effort to do it for Runeterra is a bit lower, because I feel like I'm just kind of reproducing work that he's already done a little bit. There's also just the Mobalytics meta tier list, which Swim also works on along with a few other people. So like if you go to my Mobalytics page and click tier list on the left side, that's pretty good resource. That's where most of these decks, that's where this deck that I'm playing right now came from, for instance.
Catch me if you can.
Hitting this guy on the random one drop's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, for people that are new to Runeterra content, Swimstream and Mogwai are the two largest Runeterra streamers. Hey, Sardnox, thank you for the 11 months. I think we're just opening on Quinn here.
Nothing gets between me and my
And we'll get to go, we have a really good curve set up here. We'll get to go Sithra on their turn, and then on our next turn on 7, we'll get to go Elmheart into attacks. Made her vulnerable. Well, that's sad. Yep, there's no resource variance in this game. But unlike games like Hearthstone, this game retains its ability to play on both turns. So both players play on both turns in this game. I attacked Valor in here, so this way I think I attack with everything here. Do I want to trade this board off? Maybe I don't, just because of like Sithra and Genevieve. The fact that these have double scouts these all have scouts a big deal. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to attack because they all have scout. Hey, Porky Pads, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate the continued support. Welcome back. Curtin Shi, thanks for the 23 months. What was the reason to not attack with the Quinn on the scout? Because I am dumb. In my head, I didn't want them to block with this, but I was hooking that. So I definitely should have attacked with Quinn on the scout attack. Thank you for pointing that out. In my head, I wasn't hooking the 4-4 right away, but then I hooked the 4-4 and didn't add the Quinn back into the attack. So good chance I missed 3 points of damage there. It's a good catch.
There's blood in the water.
Huh? What if I Elmheart now, so that way they can't eat this? Is that crazy? I feel like that's not crazy.
The quiet of the woods. There's nothing
I lose the pump for next turn, which only gives 1/1 for 1 turn, but being able to deny them the ability to attack and hook this right now feels valuable. And then I can open on attacks with this next turn, because it's got Challenger. One of the things that really impressed me in the Lux Thresh deck that we played yesterday was how often we just did defensive for Demasias to like discourage our opponent from attacking. Yeah, Scout plus Challenger is very good. It's a very, very good 6-drop. So again, Scout lets you attack twice with your Scout units, and then Challenger lets you force blocks. So you can basically force 2 things to block her in a turn, which is great. That's a pretty good draw. Hook their 4-4 here to start. Do I want to back-to-back? It uses like my whole turn. Gives me an okay attack with this though. It's tough. This might be wrong. They have Harsh Winds. I just get savaged. I don't think their archetype usually plays Harsh Winds. These 2 champions are a little bit more aggressive usually. Hopefully they take this hit and I get to play Jagged Butcher. Sick.
There's plenty of killing left.
Ash, yeah. Lux decks sometimes play Harsh Winds without Ash, but you're right, in general it tends to be a little rare. Dear opponent, please don't shark me. They have a warning shot here from this. Alright, step 1, didn't get sharked.
Long path to get here.
Fortune favors the bold.
The ocean is no place for the weak.
Hello, day.
This is our
Does elite mean legendary in this game? No, it's a card, just a card type. There's some cards that like have effects like when your elites do stuff. Yeah, it's a tribe or faction.
Time to get rowdy.
I think I'm just supposed to take these hits here. Well, that was a good draw. Got 9 mana here. Thing, smash. Hope for the best. This is gonna make our things bigger. Need to get a little bit lucky with this to make our things bigger.
Flavor and spice.
Flavor and spice. Gotta prep the Teemo emote here before we play the Alliance card, chat. For those of you that are playing at home, if you want to hit with your Alliance cards, I'd recommend investing in the Teemo emote.
If you work, run if you don't. Always wanted to shut you up.
See? It works every time, chat. Works every time. 100% of the time we've Teemo emoted, we've hit with the Bannermen. Those are just numbers you can't argue with.
Right on.
It's pay to win, yeah, exactly. Is this where I'm thinking about where I want the chefs to go? So the chefs give their supported ally the thing next to them +1/+1. Yeah, do I want to support the 1/7 and break it up here a little bit?
No one goes hungry. Eat up, friend.
I like how the person that's been following the chat, that's been following the channel since 2019, February 8th, 2019, said I should cut them slack because they're a new viewer. If the person that's been following since February 8th, 2019 is a new viewer, who isn't a new viewer? Inquiring minds would like to know. Alright, so Sajani's only at 2 out of 5. If we could dodge a shark, we could dodge a ball here. So wait to see how long you've been following. I don't know if individual users can see it. I can click though. So like Crovax, it says you've been following since February 4th, 2016. Cut me some slack, I'm new here. What's going on, Bob?
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah, maybe if you click your own username, you can see. I actually don't know if that's a mod feature or not.
Do not waver.
Stand for what's right. Fall by my sword.
I think I gotta leave myself not dead. I want to leave myself not dead to Fury in the North. Is how these blocks need to line up here. You can see other people's too? Okay, sweet. Yeah, so if you're on desktop, just click on a username. You can see how long they've been following for.
Like the animal you are.
Alright, well, played around Fury at least. And this is the downside here to our deck, right? Like, our deck does not have good top decks in the late game, right? We've got, like, 2/2s to draw. 1 mana 2/2s. Are they dead to open attacks? So far, they're dead to open attacks. That's really good. This card's super powerful. Close. Really close. There are places I can go to see decent decks. Yeah, I tag favorite decks every day for Runeterra stuff for a while now, just like I did for Magic. And you can also find tiered deck lists on the Mobalytics page. So if you go to my decks page here and click on the left side, there's a meta tier list that breaks things down by S, A, and B. And that meta tier list is hand curated, so it's not just by numbers, it's numbers driven, but also has humans working on it to make sure the numbers make sense. Of course, Saphira Hat. The baddest. Hecarim and Thresh here. So probably controlling, maybe mid-rangey with Hecarim, maybe. Definitely mulliganing my 6s. I think I'm mulliganing my extra 3 here too, and looking for 1 and 2 drops. Can you not Twitch Prime Sub on mobile? You can Prime Sub from an Android device. To Prime Sub from an Apple device, you have to open my Twitch channel in your web browser and request the desktop version of the site. And try and do it that way. You can't Prime Sub in the iOS mobile app. It's a good. This is perfect. So, our initial mulligan wasn't very good, but we drew a 1-2 off the top here to have a decent curve. Pseudo Pally, speaking of Prime, I really appreciate the Bezo bucks this month. Thanks for shipping a few my way and keeping me employed. I appreciate it.
What will you have?
Looking for trouble? It found you.
Raise the banner. Lift our
Nailed it. Nailed it. So can't attack with Misfortune here. Don't want to trade her for the 4/4, I don't think. So just start like this. I can with Misfortune's trigger, however, attack with my 3/3s into their 4/4, because this will take 1 damage from the trigger and then trade with this in combat, which is nice. Hey, stay safe out there, Necker.
This'll take the chill off. How about another round?
I'll stop you.
I think I'm trading here. The Shark Cannon's new. I should probably promote it more.
Gotta show you the sights of Bilgewater. The sights are fine. The smells, on the other hand.
Good chance they're a Ruination deck, right? Valpies, sure.
You'll pay.
Does this feel like Ruination to anybody else? I'm gonna open attacks. So Ruination is a 9 mana sweeper, for those not familiar.
Mwah.
Night Stars, thank you for the 28 months of support. It's a very long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Nailed it, chat. Love. What do S, A, and B refer to? S is considered the most powerful, followed by A, followed by B.
A long path to get here.
Does anybody know what's the jargon behind S being higher than A? Can anybody fill me in on that? I feel like that's something I should know, but I definitely don't offhand. Special, okay. So that's a 4/7. Yeah.
Howdy, boy, knows me name.
So I'm giving them the 2-2 to eat here. This is fine. It's from Japanese fighting games where S is super special.
One banner, one destiny.
See, chat? Teemo emote never fails. Teemo emote. So they can't Ruination me this turn. They only have 8 mana. They can Vengeance me, which destroys a unit. It might be right to just open attacks here. I don't know. I guess they just like chump block this and trade with one of these. Maybe I lead on the scout. I'm gonna lead on the scout.
Let's mess some folks up.
And then if they want to Vengeance me, I can single combat. Okay, sick. Just like we drew it up, chat.
Time to get rowdy. Here we go.
Alright, done for. Again, our deck's the aggro deck. Opponent is incredibly favored as the game goes long. We want to get this done and over with. Okay. Why are you getting so many free rewards? Because this game is made by a company that understands you're going to want to give them money because their game is good, so they don't try and fleece as much possible out of you.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
They're not dead to open attacks here. I think we play Misfortune and see what they do, because if they Ruination here after I Misfortune, Genevieve is lethal. Okay, and now they can't Ruination? The priority system in this game is just so unbelievably good. Just the back and forth and the decisions that you get to make are just fantastic. So, Misfortune here triggers when I attack, and she'll deal 1 damage to their Nexus and 1 damage to this. So hooking with my 5 power thing will kill their 3/6. This is a scout, so I'll get another attack step here. Sure, so these are going to trade now. Misfortune lives because of her trigger.
Fall to our standard.
Nice, nailed it. This build's really sweet. Definitely glad we pivoted to this over...
That's why I'm
Definitely glad we pivoted to this over the Pure Demacia one. Yeah, and like, their new player deck that they give you after playing for 7 days is like, it literally has one of the champions in it that's like in the best deck in the format right now. So it's not like the crappy free Planeswalker decks that Magic gives you where it's just like a bunch of worthless crap for the most part. It's got like 1 dual land in it. I have not played Bilgewater Burn as of yet. Well, Pretty sure we're supposed to mulligan all those looking for 1s and 2s. Nah, I actually think locking things that are purely cosmetic behind an only premium currency is good. I actually think it's weird that Arena doesn't really have a free versus premium currency the way they let you earn gems randomly. I think their whole economy in that game is so strange. Hey, Luna Hero, been loving Runeterra. Glad to see you playing it too now. You're definitely my favorite streamer to watch, so I hope you plan to stick with it. I do. I plan to dip back into a little bit of Magic when they release their next expansion, but even when that happens, if Magic is good and I stick with that, we're gonna be a split stream. But for the next 6 weeks at least, we're gonna focus on this, and when the next set for Runeterra drops, we're gonna go hard on that.
In Avarosa's name.
We'll probably drop my variety segments for a week or two after the new Runeterra set releases. Hot take, limited and the existence of limited focus comments does more harm to Magic, especially. Yeah, I agree with that, Bob. So I didn't trade here when they attacked, because I'm gonna play Misfortune this turn, which means when I attack with these, this can't block and trade in combat, because Misfortune's trigger will kill Sentry. Now, I could have something like a Culling Strike here. We can get a little bit punished for this, but I think it's the correct play.
I'll be damned.
Hard to get rich. Look out for Reavers.
When's the next set drop for Runeterra? I believe the expectation is sometime in the next 3 weeks or so. I don't know, does anybody know, have they published an official release date? I know it's just August sometime is what I've heard.
The trap is set. I need more hands.
It's August 19th. Speculation is the week the Battle Pass ends. Okay.
You picked the losing side.
Someone asked about a Runeterra Hooglandia Open, because I have run some of those for Magic. The tough part about running a Runeterra tournament is that there's no site like MTG Melee, and Runeterra doesn't have in-client tournament support yet, so the logistics of running a large tournament and organizing coverage for it are just very difficult. Like, I wouldn't have been able to run the tournaments I've been running for Magic without without MTG Melee existing.
Flavor and spice.
And I know Smash.gg exists, but it's really not the same. It's a big 6/6.
Fortune favors.
I don't know that we're going to be able to get around them this time. So I could attack here. I feel like I'm supposed to just not and like wait a turn. But like the problem is they've got a Yeti coming and they're going to be able to go wide again. But like attacking also just doesn't push that much damage this turn either. I suppose I can attack like this with another Misfortune in my hand. And like, if they block here, this goes down to 1 toughness.
No one goes hungry. This is our homeland. Over there.
I can attack these 2 power things into this 3/3 because of Misfortune's trigger, which is nice.
Love ya.
This is actually a decent pickup because it means I can play a 2-drop plus Misfortune this turn and then play Elmheart next turn to get the bonus while I'm attacking. Lucian Ephemeral deck has been a blast to play. Thanks to the idea. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And that deck, just like most of the things we play here, was just a viewer submission, so can't really take credit for the idea.
Field is yours.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
The fact that they haven't drawn their 5/5 Yeti yet, it's real good for us. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, don't ask me where I went. I zoned out there. I definitely should have single commented to kill this with the barrier. Yeah, that's huge.
Quiet of the woods. There's nothing.
We'd be much better off if they didn't have a 6/1. Hey, Wick, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Is Ash to Johnny considered top tier? Yeah, this deck is arguably the best deck in the constructed format right now. Now, this can still attack and trigger Misfortune. So this gets to attack, do this, kill this. Now, they're out of mana. Can I kill them? We're really close, right? Not quite. I can kill one of their blockers here. And then I can hook another. So we do this. Yeah, they did, Bob. Which gets a blocker out of the way. And then we're going to put them to 3 here.
These woods belong to us.
Hook this one, so that way they're forced to put Sajani in front of something that has power. So Sajani's health goes down. Couple of good top decks that we could seal this year. Yeah, I'm aware Misfortune's gonna die. I need to push the damage, though.
Let's see what you've got.
Yeah, I'm aware Genevieve kills the Bird Scout, but it still gets to block. So,
Show them our
I want to pull as many blockers out of the way as possible here, so that way I can push damage. Because again, we're the aggro deck, they're the mid-range deck. We need this game to end, because their average card quality is much better than ours.
Love ya. I'll be danged.
Yeah, good chance they're gonna, they're ahead on board, and they've got 4 cards in hand, and our deck notably doesn't have any traditional reach, so we don't have a way to, pump up and deal the last 3 damage. There's, no get excited to draw 2 in our deck here.
ride onward.
I don't even think they need Reckoning, really, to kill us here. There's a good chance we're dead without it. So this attack means they have Fury in the north, right?
Nothing but the stink of blood and sweat.
Yeah, I don't think we can play around Reckoning here.
Fight like a proud Demacian and die like a stubborn Demacian.
Who gets tossed? The dead don't need riches.
Alright, frostbite me.
Nice to punch you.
I almost scout attacked and then I counted and realized that we had them dead to attack all. Pass priority. Pass priority. Pass priority. This is the harsh winds. I have no cards! Play the harsh winds!
So soon.
Yeah, they had to have something there. Really close game. Asajani is rough for MS. Very. Man, people in this card game have way different definitions of very rough than I do. Listen, as someone who cut his teeth playing mid-range decks against Tron lands, nothing in this game has very polarized matchups. Like, man, I feel like if people think something's not like 55-45, they think it's a slaughter. Like, I don't know, like, our sample size is whatever, but like, we played against that archetype twice, and the first time we played against it, we beat it, and the second time we played against it, we were like 1 point of damage short. Like,
You can see the Demacian border from here. Safeguard our homes. Chase the glory.
and we're literally 1 damage off.
Fires.
I was gonna open attacks. Do I do this now? I think I'm still gonna open attacks.
Sizzle. Can't fight on an empty stomach.
A Vile Feast here, sure. Still take 3, right?
Morsel of regret. These old eyes still see far and clear.
That's a great draw. Pierce that treasonous hearts. Easy, no blocks. We get to go ahead and play Quinn here, and then Valor plus Misfortunes trigger will kill the Kalista, which is great.
The sights are fine. The smells, on the other hand.
The animation is so good. That doesn't really accomplish anything, right?
Still heart, steady aim. Mwah.
Avasaur Divik.
Scouting ahead.
No one goes hungry. Ready the torches.
So they must have a They Who Endure in their hand, right? I think I deny them the card draw here, because They Who Endure is the card I don't want to see.
Love ya.
If they don't have They Who Endure, they're drawing to it, so I think reducing the number of draws that they have is ideal.
Stow the rations. Shackle the prisoners. Everyone's a garden.
Cute. Really? We're killing Quinn and not... Okay, deal.
Got your back.
This is probably lethal, right?
Fight back, but I can't. Their pride will cost them.
Misfortune's actually gonna level here if they don't kill her. Yeah, Misfortune's gonna level on this attack. Sick. I'm really sad they didn't give us the Misfortune level animation. That one is one you get so rare. It's not one you get very often, chat. Ezreal, Twisted Fate, Vi. Okay. We're attacking on odds. I think I'm supposed to mulligan the Grizzled Ranger here because I'm attacking on odds. Attacking on odds means it's very important to try and find a 3-drop on 3. Sick. 1, 2, 3. It's just curvamentary. What could it be? Opponent also has the best pet here. Turn 1 beam, underappreciated play. That's a 4-drop.
Flavor and spice.
Flavor and spice. I don't have the attack token, chat. It's so sad. Caw, caw, caw. Caw, caw.
You'll fight or you'll swim.
Got your back.
So we'll go Sheps, pump this, this hook this. Read.
Feel the sizzle.
I don't really want to deal. I think if I attack, they're gonna block, and I don't really want to put this to 1 toughness this matchup. I don't think.
Grog if you work, run if you don't. Find me a flaring lump.
Look, behind you, a 3-headed monkey.
How are elusives to play against these days? Elusives are, when we say elusives are off meta at this point, I think it's safe to say elusives are off meta at this point. I kind of want to Quinn. What's the punishment for quitting? If I Quinn, they could make it rain me. But like I have 5 things at that point.
I gotta show you the sights of Bilgewater. The sights are fine. The smells, on the other hand.
Safety will cost you.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
If I hook this, it just dies to Misfortune trigger, right? So it's a free roll. Challenger is very good with Misfortune. Yeah, this game does an incredible job of feeling alive. Like the cards do a very, very good job of like making you engrossed in the game. in a really fantastic way.
Right to the face.
Still heart, steady aim.
So it doesn't really matter. I think we just do this.
Eat up, friend.
No!
Maybe I'm not supposed to throw my challengers away there since I have Bannermen and Sithra in hand. Nab away, opponent. Nab away.
Stow the rations. Shackle the prisoners.
Soldiers, to me!
Right, they don't have shark mana. Sure, yeah, nab away. Nab away, opponent. Nab away.
Yeah, you don't want to cross me.
Batter 'em.
They're out of mana, right? So we should single combat? And they're dead? I missed that they were out of mana there. I guess they could theoretically have a 1-drop. They could have our Jagged Butcher from this. No, it's not cheaper though, right? It would still cost them 1. Yeah, because they don't have the 2/1 Thief out that makes it cheaper. So then the Sithras give each other Fearsome. So this 1/2 can't block, so they can block a 7 and then die.
Right to the face. No one goes hungry. You picked the losing side.
You see, good example here where this card's our where this card is our 6 drop.
We're safe. For now.
We're safe for now. Black Market Merchant, that's the one. It's the one that was on the tip of my tongue. How do we get a shiny? Into my trap. Yeah, alright, I think this one's going on. I think that one's going on the emote board. That one is pretty good. Speaking of pretty good, I was really impressed with this. I think this is definitely, I can definitely see the power level of what is going on here compared to the straight just Demacia Bannerman build that we started with today. And I feel like the one thing my jury is kind of still out on is I'm not 100% sold on Petty Officer. Every non-Demacian card we put in our deck comes at a real cost with Bannermen. So I'm not sure that Petty Officer, and honestly, I'm not even sure if Jagged Butcher is even the appeal. Like, it could be right to just like be a Scouts deck splash Misfortune. Could honestly be correct. Yeah, I could see that being right to swap them out. I don't know what exactly you swapped them out for offhand. Yeah, not 9 non-allegiance cards, a lot of inconsistency. You had it in Valor and Rally. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I kind of feel like I wouldn't mind another 2-drop, but like what are the 2s that we have access to? Our twos aren't really that great. Like the Demacian 2s aren't fantastic. Ranger Resolve is okay. I kinda wouldn't mind a couple more spells. I kind of wouldn't mind a couple more spells to use your spell mana with. One thing that this deck's had a problem with was we only have back-to-back and single combat, so like the turns where you don't use your mana, you generally speaking don't have anything to catch up with it later. Yeah, Valor. Oh yeah, that's true. Right, Valor's a 2-drop. I searched for units, but Blinding Assault makes a unit. Yeah, I can see that. This is like a unit that's also a spell, so it like does double duty. All right, at any rate, we're going to go ahead and roll on to our next deck here for the morning. We're going to wrap things up with Scouts and roll on into some Ash Lux Control. Where's that one at here? So I'm going to hit a quick ad roll. I get everything set up and flipped over. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.